The future. The future that we're moving into has been designed years ago. As an architect and a designer, we have Buckminster Fuller and his geodetic dome. We have the Venus Project by Jacques Fisco. All these people have been designing these cities for the future, and these cities of the future are, as much as they might want to say it's for humans, is more for an android kind of person, someone who is scared of everything, wants to live in these environments and be protected from everything, and everything is done for you, and you just go in there and you just survive and live. Now, to some people, this might be what they want, and that is completely 100% fine. But at the same time, the majority of people will not have access to this kind of lifestyle. We'll be living on the outskirts of these major cities and these major zone places. So what do we do? So really, in that sense, that's what myself and Amri are really here to say, is like, you know, who's helping all the other people who cannot live in these new cities, these new futuristic worlds that's happening? We have to find some tools and find some ways of living within an environment that will be very much different from what it is today. And we have to also understand that, you know, electromagnetic smog, you know, is important. It happens, you know, you look at some cities in China, which has been very much heightened with the electromagnetic field. And, you know, and you question why they're wearing masks, and they have various reasons for this, but at the same time, it is all about protection. What are they protecting themselves from? These are the questions that we need to ask ourselves. If our environment gets so electrified, what are we protecting ourselves from, and how can we live in the future? But at the same time, when you have those kind of architects, you also have the sustainable architects, the BioArc Shambhala project, by Dan Winters, and it's amazing because they have been, as metaphysicians, they have been finding out and designing tools. They've been doing computer programs to work out how your heart works, how your mind works, how your body works, how everything works within geometry, and how we are one and the same. We are all the same. And they have created these amazing, you know, futuristic cities within the environment, using these shapes, using geometry, to create this holistic whole place. But the reality is, how many of us will be able to afford to live in these spaces? We have to also think about that. In 2009, I was given the opportunity, and it's funny because all these projects that you've seen have all been developed around the same time. And there is a wave of information that comes to us. And there was a time in 2009, just before the crash, I was given the opportunity to design these portal cities all over the world, from Panama to Malaysia to Africa, you know, Ghana. We was all over the place designing these things, but the reason why we couldn't build these properties was because of finance. So we now have to really understand, well, what does that mean in the future? Because there was so much that we could have done, wanted to do back then, that we have not been able to do. And now we're in a different timeline of future, whereby we are now being pushed towards a more centralized city, where everybody is herded into cities to live. And it's not that it hasn't been done before, because ancient cities were like that too, but at the same time, we have to find a higher reason of how we live within these environments. And also understanding that AI is very important. This is a project that is designed and which is now in planning in Sangley Road in Lewisham. And, you know, now I have to start thinking of, how does AI work in my new projects? So projects that I have the responsibility of designing from, I will be using some of these tools to make those environments better for the people and for their environment. So this is like the end of the presentation, but I just really wanted to sort of give you an overview of what me and Anne-Marie can do for you. I mean, there's like know your geometric field, which is just really knowing your environment, knowing your home, your space. And then also know your etheric field, which is sort of taking you out a little bit further by taking in more elements of yourself, whether it's your emotion, your mental, your physical field. And also branding by design is like really people who have organization. What myself and Anne-Marie probably would like to do the most is talk to other architects and talk to other people who are in our industry, because we cannot change anything on our own. We need more people to change stuff, and we need more clients and more people to be aware of what we were into. So really, this is like a space that we can create lots of different spaces from. And also to know we're going back to the future. We are going back to what used to be. Angkor Wat in Cambodia was one of the cities that was designed and built, which encompassed all the things that I spoke about today. And when you walk through that gate, you was walking into a new experience, a new way of living. And that is what we are now at the precipice of doing, going into the future. After this moment, after lockdown, we will be definitely doing things different. So this is our Healing Home Solutions. And I'd like to thank you for your patience and for your being here and listening to us.